Meanwhile, the Wall Street Journal, let's just turn to briefly to the campaign. Man, I'll tell you, there's a big expose about Romney's finances. I think it's in Vanity Fair. About how Ann Romney's blind trust just coincidentally invested millions of dollars in, was it Tag Romney's? One of Ann Romney's kids' hedge fund. Just coincidentally in a blind trust. I wonder what the statistical odds of that are. Was it Tag? Tag's wonderful. You got to wonder, how blind is that trust? Or am I just being cynical? Is it just possible that someone administering that trust will be like, I know this client is Ann Romney, and I know this potential hedge fund is also Romney. Maybe this is something I would like. I have no idea if there's any relationship between the two people.
Maybe Seamus is a blind trust seeing eye dog.
No, I don't think Seamus is in charge of their blind trust, but maybe. And turns out Romney still has these big Swiss bank accounts, or had them up until very recently. I'm so uninterested that I haven't been able to read the article yet. I don't even know if it's that long. And here's the Wall Street Journal bemoaning Mitt Romney. This is what's going to happen, folks. When Romney loses, the right, and this notion that President Obama, I don't know if he believes it or not. If he believes it, it's probably it's significantly sadder than anything else. But the idea that the right is going to self-regulate themselves, speaking of self-regulation, when Mitt Romney loses, mark my words, it's going to be because he wasn't wackadoo conservative enough in their eyes. Because that's always the answer when they fail. When they fail at governing, it's because they weren't wackadoo conservative enough. Even if they have control of both houses and the presidency for 5 or 6 years. It's because they weren't crazy enough. Iraq, the reason why it didn't go so well there, it's falling apart, incidentally, is because we didn't kill enough people. We didn't allow for enough libertarian policies to take root in Iraq. Whatever the problem is. And I thought that Mitt Romney was always going to be a weak candidate because he's not capable of bringing anything to the table. As an individual, never mind even his policies, he can't even fake it. And here you have Wall Street Journal already talking about if Mitt Romney loses his run for the White House, a turning point will have been his decision Monday to absolve President Obama of raising taxes on the middle class. Apparently, they're talking about the right wants to claim that the Affordable Care Act is a huge, I think they've called it the biggest tax increase in the history of America, which on its face is just laughable. And the Obama administration and those people who drafted the legislation contend that the mandate is not a tax. However, the Supreme Court found it was constitutional if perceived as a tax. The implications are zero in terms of the money. And politically speaking, I don't know that it's much of an implication either, because if you didn't like the mandate, you're not going to like the tax. If you don't like the tax, you're not going to like the mandate. It doesn't matter. But because Mitt Romney is in such a pickle, because the plan is basically his plan, he doesn't want to say it works, or he doesn't want to say it doesn't work, his chief advisor said that he agrees with the administration. It's not a tax. So Wall Street Journal now is saying this is why Romney's going to lose the election. I don't think so.
What are you talking about?
Well, my point is that the Wall Street Journal is pegging to this. And no, of course, this is not why this is not why Mitt Romney is going to lose. Mitt Romney is going to lose because he's just a horrible candidate. It's bringing nothing to the table. This latest mistake is of a piece with the campaign's insular staff and strategy that are slowly squandering a historic opportunity. The Romney campaign thinks it can play safe and coast to the White House by saying the economy stinks and it's Mr. Obama's fault. It doesn't seem to be working. But they also know that if Romney goes out and campaigns, he starts to lose ground. So they have a dilemma. And it's not one that's going to be solvable. Mr. Romney promised Republicans he was the best man to make the case against President Obama, whom they desperately want to defeat. So far, Mr. Romney is letting them down. You will see more of that. And again, I pose the same question that I've been posing for some time. When do we start seeing the big money go to congressional and Senate races? And it could be happening now. We just don't know.